My name's Sterling Clark, and it's my pleasure to welcome all of you to the 8th Annual Pelham Fritz Basketball League Scholarship Fund Awards Ceremony. So like I said, this award has been given out for the last 8 years, and actually 8 years ago today, I was one of the students sitting in those seats in front of me. So it's been a very positive program that the folks here on the executive board have been able to put together. So I want to acknowledge these folks here that put so much work into getting everything together to be able to hand out scholarships to the students that are here today. Those people are Corwin Breeden, he's the president and chair. Melvin Pratt, executive director and treasurer. Carol House, secretary. And directors Seth Akabas, Lawrence House Sr., Sandra Pollard, and Joy Pratt. Now, these are the folks that put a lot of work into organizing the details of being able to provide scholarships, but without bright, smart students to hand them out to, we wouldn't have anything. So I want to recognize all of the students that are here today and applaud you all for excelling and being here today and, you know, excelling enough for us to be able to hand these scholarships out to you. So let's get a round of applause for the students that are here today. You're getting this scholarship today because you've performed, you've excelled, and are continuing to excel. And in exchange for these scholarships, we ask you to continue to excel, continue to grow, and continue to break the barriers that are put in front of you. That's what you owe us in exchange for the scholarships that you're getting today. Now, I have the honor of introducing our first guest speaker today, Honorable Lisa Headley. Now, Lisa is committed and dedicated to serving the public. She has worked in the court system for approximately 30 years. She began as a typist and worked her way to becoming a court attorney. In 2015, Lisa was elected by the East Harlem community to become a civil court judge. As a court attorney, Lisa worked in housing court, criminal court, and civil court, helping individuals without representation, ensuring that they had an opportunity to be heard and were treated fairly. Lisa is very involved in her local community. She was a volunteer small claims arbitrator serving the Harlem Community Justice Center for over 12 years. Lisa has also been a learning leader for the public schools since 2010. Before becoming a judge, Lisa was a participant in the monthly legal clinic of Assemblyman Keith L.T. Wright, providing the local community with legal information involving landlord-tenant issues, criminal issues, and contract disputes. As a civil court judge, Lisa is humbled to be able to spend her days helping families reach resolutions to their problems to benefit the overall well-being of the lives of their children. Lisa holds a Juris Doctorate degree from Touro College's Jacob D. Fuchsberg Law Center. Her undergraduate degrees are in Human Resource Management from Bernard Baruch College, University of New York, and Legal Secretarial Science from Borough of Manhattan Community College, City University of New York. She holds active memberships with the Metropolitan Black Bar Association, Dominican Bar Association, and New York County Lawyers Association. Please welcome the Honorable Lisa Headley. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. To the scholarship recipients, family, friends, and supporters. I want to first thank my friend Charlene Edwards for inviting me to be a guest speaker. It's always an honor when someone invites you to come and share your story, or if they believe that you have some wisdom that other people will be able to benefit from. So Charlene, thank you very much. I'm really nervous and I don't quite understand why, because I sit on the bench every day and talk to people who I don't know, but I'm very, very nervous, so just bear with me. My biography does say that I attended law school, but what it doesn't say is that I went to law school almost 10 to 12 years after I graduated college. So that's to say that I really did not know what it is that I wanted to do. When I went to Borough Manhattan, I said, oh, I want to be a secretary. I want to work in this big building with carpeting that had a kitchen. You know, that was my goal growing up in the city, you know, full-time, being somebody's secretary. But over the years, you know, that changed. I went on to get my BA in Human Resources Management, and I worked full-time while achieving that degree. I've been with the court system since I was a typist almost 30 years ago. So it's been a long time. I've always worked full-time and went to school. But while I was there, I noticed that I wasn't getting a good feeling about what it was that I was doing. I was there to do my job and I did it well, but I noticed that there were other people who seemed, you know, basically attorneys at the time and other judges, and it seemed as if they were getting a little more satisfaction about what they were doing. So I decided somewhere along the line, let me go to law school. I had no idea how I was going to do this. I was living in New Jersey at the time, so how can I work in Manhattan and go to law school in New Jersey? So I moved to Long Island. By myself, my friend was like, what are you doing? Moved to Long Island, an area that wasn't very welcoming to minorities, but I went. Well, okay, whatever. I was safe, went to law school and worked. Long Island, way out in Dix Hill, so that was about 2.5 hours from the city. So I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get the 5 o'clock train, to get to work, to be there at 7, so I could leave at 3 to attend law school at night. And I'm saying all this to basically say that if you have a goal and there's something that you want to do, you make a plan and you work that plan. You do whatever it is that you have to do to get that. Sleep is, don't worry about sleep. You sleep when you're no longer here. It's just a part of life. Sleep, you just, don't worry about it. Just get up and you just keep on moving. I'm tired constantly. I'm pretty sure you guys are, because you're here receiving scholarships. So obviously you're already on the right track. But I was told to speak about leadership today. Now, when I looked up leadership, I didn't want to come from the avenue of the traditional meaning, which is to inspire others and motivate others. I looked up and found some synonyms for leadership, and those synonyms are direction, control, and management. So I wanted to come from that angle of direction, control, and management as it pertains to yourself. And basically, as I said, you're on the right track. But college, there'll be a lot more demands. There'll be a lot more pressures. For me, as an adult in law school, there were pressures. I was one of the oldest people in law school, the only person that had a full-time job, and I too wanted to hang out on Friday nights. I wanted to go out on Saturdays. Sometimes I did, sometimes I could not. Did I run up against a lot of opposition? Yes, from friends, from family, you know, from people that said, that's all you do is study, all you do is go to school. And yes, it makes you feel like there's more to life than just studying, because you don't want to be left out. But at the end of the day, I had to learn to be selfish. And when I say selfish, not being mean to people, but learn to be selfish about me. Yeah. To be selfish about what it is that I wanted to do. And I realized, and again, this is late 20s, early 30s, I was just learning that it's okay to tell people no. It's okay to say, wait a minute, this is about me. So either you come along and ride my train, or we just have to say goodbye and you get off at the next stop. And I was good for telling people that I'm sorry, you're not on the same train that I'm on, because you have to realize that a lot of people will be jealous of what it is that you're trying to accomplish. It may not come across that way, but they will be jealous of what you're trying to accomplish, so they will find little ways to say, oh, let's just do this, you don't need to worry about that test, or even study groups. I never did study groups. Didn't work for me, because I find that people just wanted to talk. So it was very hard because I had nobody to run ideas against. But I find study groups, if they don't work, there are people that just want your information and they don't bring anything to the table. So when I say selfish, you gotta learn to be by yourself. It's okay. Forever, because it's good to, you know, be around other people, but I mean, you really have to get to the point where it's okay to just be you and be comfortable with being you. And again, at my age, I'm still learning how to do that. So when I come from the point of leadership, that's what I mean. Control who you spend your time with, control what you allow into your life, control who you allow, and sometimes that may be family. Family may not always understand what it is that you're doing. They may not understand why such a sacrifice when you could just get a job? But you know what, there's more to it than just having a job. You want to do something where you feel useful, and that's what made me go to law school. And then as I was an attorney working with other judges, I realized, wait a minute, I can do things differently. I don't necessarily like how they do this. I don't necessarily like how they allow their staff to mistreat the public that walks in. So then I got another grand scheme plan. Let's go to law school. Okay, go to law school. Where was I going to find the money? Where was I going to do? I ran up against a lot of opposition, but you know what? I did it. You work, you have good credit, you take out loans, you do what you have to do to achieve your goal. So that is exactly what I did. And it was not easy, but it was. I wanted to become a judge. Okay, here I go. Law school's finished. How am I going to do this, become a judge? To become a judge is not easy. I would have never known all of the things I have to go through to become a judge. You have to get the support of district leaders, get the support of judicial delegates. And I ran a campaign in East Harlem. I live in East Harlem, so there was a seat open in East Harlem. That's where I chose to run. I had opposition. My opposition lived in West Harlem. So that became a whole nother thing that I never knew existed, such a difference between East Harlem and West Harlem as the powers to be wanted to put it into play. So the campaign wasn't the easiest for me, but I stayed true to myself. Stay true to yourself. Don't let anybody drag you down. You don't need to sell your soul to win. You don't need to sell your soul to achieve what you're trying to achieve. That you do achieve, you will know that you did not get it the right way, and it will be taken from you. Somewhere along the line, it will be taken from you. So be true to yourself, never lower yourself, just stay on your path. That's what I wanted to say about that. Now, I know I got to stop soon because I only have 10 minutes. I also wanted to, I think I spoke about being selfish about yourself. The other thing I wanted to talk about was community involvement. It is very, very important to help others. Not only for them, but for you. Because in order for you to be able to move different places, in order for you to be able to embrace other people, you have to be humble. Meaning you have to understand the trials that other people go through. You have to be able to build empathy. And the only way you have empathy is by understanding and helping those who may not have what you have. And then in addition to that, it also helps you to be relatable. Now as a judge, I have to be able to understand the different types of people. I am a civil court judge, but I sit in Bronx Family Court. So it's important for minorities to be able to see what other families are going through and be able to relate, because not everybody understands the dynamic of, men and women in minority families. It's very different the way sometimes our kids are raised and what our kids go through. So if I did not understand what maybe somebody from the Dominican Republic was going through, or maybe somebody from Mali was going through, or maybe just somebody from Ireland was going through. That's only 3 organizations that they mentioned because I think they ran out of space, but I belong to a lot of different groups, and people say, why so many? You're not this, you're not that, but I join these groups because I want to understand what is going on in the different communities, so that when people come before me, I understand a little bit of what they're talking about. So in order to be successful, you need to be able to relate to people, because you don't know whose path you're going to run across. So being involved in your community and other communities helps you to stay humble, it helps you to stay relatable. So in closing, someone told me that you should always do some takeaways. So that was my court attorney, Lisa, who's sitting right there. So the takeaways that I'm going to give you is, put your education first. As I said, it's okay to be selfish about your goals. Align yourself with people that understand and support what you want to do. Second, you have control of your career path. Make a plan and then work that plan. And when I mean work that plan, I mean do your research, do whatever it is that you have to do, because once I decided to become a judge, I realized that these district leaders and delegates, they look at the community service that you have done. So in order to know where you want to go and what you need to get there, you have to do your research. You can't just say, I want to be a doctor and say that's it. You have to do your research. If it's a pediatrician, then what courses do you need to take to be a pediatrician? What networking groups do you need to belong to in order to achieve that? So that's number 2. And number 3, never, never forget to give back to others, because I truly believe that it is better to give than to receive. Thank you.
That was inspiring. Now, one thing that she mentioned was being in control of your career. Now, not only do you have control, but you are the only one that has control of your career. Remember that. So I want to introduce our next speaker, Mary Sally. She's the student branch leader from Capital One Bank. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. I like to judge, but I think I may be a little more nervous, and you would think I'd be used to this by now, but I'm not. So I'm Mary Sally. I've been in Capital One for the past 17 and a half years. The last 6 years, I've spent my time as a student bank branch leader. So you may say, well, what's that? I don't see those people in the regular branches when I go. And what that is, it's a program, and I'm going to just tell you a little bit about what I do. And the objective of our programs are to promote sound money management skills, life skills, training, and influence academic achievements by providing college preparatory guidance. As part of community development banking, we are very dedicated to giving back to our various communities within our footprint. So when Mr. Pratt said this was on a Sunday, and I was like, he was like, it's for the kids. I was telling my girlfriend, well, I'm sorry guys, I'll see y'all later, I gotta go. It's for the kids, right? So our student banking program offers a limited menu of products designed primarily for student savers. During the school year, we open 3 days a week, and each of our high school branches are staffed with 10 to 12 student interns that are high school seniors. Our students are trained during the summer, and it's about a 6-week training program, and they're trained by our traditional associates. So when school opens back in September, they're prepared to run their student branches, okay? Right now, we currently have 4 student banking centers, one at the Roosevelt campus in the Bronx, one in Newark, New Jersey at Westside High School, one in Parkdale, Maryland, and one in our very own Harlem at Thurgood Marshall Academy, which is where I work, okay? Like PFBL, many of our students are first-generation college-bound students. So it's very important that, you know, you're given the tools that are needed to go on to that next phase of life. And that's why the opportunity to be here is important to Capital One as well as myself. I'm the mother of 3 sons, and I'm proud to say I have a son coming out of NYU next year. So, you know, you have to stay on it. It's hard, it's not easy. He tells me all the time, you know, he doesn't get to do this or that, but if it's something that you want, it's something that you can do. Always remember to manage your time, and remember that there's nothing in this world that you can't do. The world is yours. You go out there, you find your space in it, and you stand on it, and you say, this is what I came here to do. And don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't, because we know there's no such thing as you can't. You just say, when am I going to, okay? So thank you for letting me come here this afternoon and sharing in this occasion with you guys.
Finally, I'd like to present our keynote speaker, Kevin Cheney. Kevin was a 2015 recipient of the PFBL scholarship, so just last year, he was sitting in the chairs that you're sitting in right now, and he's here to talk about his freshman year experiences. Kevin.
Hello, and thank you for having me speak. This is my first time speaking at an event like this, so I may stutter a lot. So my first year of college was pretty good, I would say. It was very stressful, but for the most part, I learned a lot. So I'll start with my major. When I first went in, my major was game programming. So that major is the hardest major at my school with a 70% dropout rate in that major alone. And I'm gonna tell you why I changed my major. Number one is because most freshmen, the first major they pick isn't the major that they're gonna stick with. So don't be afraid to change your majors. I was thinking about changing my major again to digital forensics, but don't be afraid. You'll find something eventually that you'll stick with. But I changed my major because I lost motivation and I kept comparing myself to the other people in the major. The reason I lost motivation was because the major itself it's not hard, but it's tedious because you're learning another language and your mindset has to change in order to learn it. So like for me, learning C++, a coding language, and HTML5, those were harder than Spanish. And like that's how difficult they were. And the reason I mention these stuff is because sooner or later throughout your first year or throughout college, you will go through these same feelings. But you have to overcome them. You have to just keep fighting them. And you need the motivation, and you need the motivation, you need to be determined to succeed. If you don't have any of that, it's not going to work out. And then sometimes you just learn that sometimes college isn't for everyone, or that college isn't for you. So if you keep motivated and you stay to your goal, you'll find your way. And then for me, I go to a predominantly white school where like 95% of the people are white, and it's up in Burlington, Vermont. So I wanted to tell you guys about how my group of friends, because I'm friends with mostly African Americans, how we dealt with the stuff that happened with Black Lives Matter and all of that. And for me, personally, because like, although it's not gonna happen in Vermont because it's very scarce that there's people like that up there, but for me, I was scared. Because, like, although I knew it wouldn't happen, what kept going through my head was, what if? And you can't, like, it's good to have those thoughts in your head, I'm gonna say, because it keeps you on your toes, but you can't let them take over your mind. You have to, for me, you have to have a good mix of really motivational thoughts and then really like uninspiring thoughts. So that way you always have that. For me, it's I'm stubborn, I'm sorry. It promotes growth, and having that conflict in your head makes it, to me, so that when you're not like narrow-minded, I'm gonna say. I'm sorry, I'm kind of. But enough of that really gloomy stuff. I'm gonna tell you some of the good things that I experienced in college, like the bonds that you make with the group of friends that you have, that you will eventually make. I can tell you how I got us 4 free pizzas from Domino's because they messed up. Like they burned the first 3 and then they messed up the order, but I tried to get the 3 free pizzas. So I can tell you about how much food you order, about either you'll run out of money or either you run out of money because all your money will go to food or you won't have money. That's about it. There's either books and food, that's all your money will go to. And it's really fun. Although it's stressful, like don't expect to sleep. Unless you manage your time really well, which and I'm pretty good at managing my time, but I got no sleep at all while I was at school. But it's really fun. You have so much free time. like, you only have maybe 30 hours of classes for the whole week. And yeah, so 30 hours out of the week, that's what, a day and a quarter of classes. That's a lot of free time, but it's what you do with that free time that determines if you really succeed and strive or if you crumble. And for me, I'm not gonna lie, I thought that I'd be able to do it like I did in high school where, oh, I don't have to study all that much, but you still do have to study. That doesn't work. You really have to give it the time it needs in order to succeed. It's nothing like high school. If you try to just move by like high school, you're gonna fail. That's all there is to it. So that's about it. I'll give you guys some tips going into your first year. Time management is number one. You need to know how to manage your time. So I would suggest, since you have like 30 hours of classes, for every credit the class is, have 2 hours of studying. So if it's a 3-credit class, have 6 hours of studying for that class as well. And depending on how easy or how difficult the class is, you can take away a little bit, you can give it some more, but you want to give it the time it needs in order for you to fully understand. Tip to make friends. For the first 2 weeks, keep your door open. I did not do that in my dorm because I'm a New Yorker. I would have the door cracked, and people would be welcome to come in, but they never did because they just assumed the door was closed. And then after that, when they did try to come in, I had the door closed. So, yeah, just keep the door open and be welcoming. What I would do, which is probably why I didn't really hang out with people in my dorm, because I didn't have a close relationship to them. Like my roommate, he's a New Yorker, but he was friends with everyone in the dorm. But don't do what I did. Just keep your door open, don't leave it cracked. You would at least let them see the whole room. And if you do have the door closed, don't assume that it's unlocked, because I did that a lot. So I would tell them to come in and they would try to open the door. So don't do that because it just makes them angry. It just makes people angry. And do not try to get a job in your first semester or your second semester. If you want to do work study or maybe a part-time job, that works, depending on how much hours. But do not try to get a full-time job. You will burn out. And then once you burn out in college, it's really hard to recover. And then that's all the tips I can really think of. Thank you.
Now, one of the things that Kevin talked about was comparing yourselves to others. And I think that that's a great point. I'll share something about my own personal experience going from college into the working world. And I think that it's similar when you're going from high school into college. You're all here because you are achievers, right? You're high performers, but where you're going, everybody is. So you're likely used to being the cream of the crop, but everybody is. So don't let that discourage you. The worst thing you can do is see the level that somebody else is working at and think that you're not as good as them. Use that as motivation to make yourself better. And that's all I'll say about that. Now I want to get to the awards. So I have awards here for all of you guys. When I call your name, please step up. I'll hand you your award, and then you'll step to the side and take a picture with Melvin Pratt over here. All right. First on the list is Nicole Hill. And you can step up here. There we go. And Nicole's going to Marymount Manhattan College. Next is Geneva Balo. And Geneva's going to Hobart and William Smith Colleges. Next is Yahaira Payo Colon. And she's going to SUNY at Oneonta. You're welcome. And if I mispronounce your name, just let me know and correct me, please. Next is Anelia Barron, and she's going to SUNY University at Albany.
It's Anila.
Anila?
Yeah.
Sorry, Anila. I'll just take it out. Yanitsin Diaz, going to CUNY John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
Thank you.
Edward Serrano, going to CUNY Lehman College. Daryl Henry, going to SUNY University at Albany.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Tyra Henry, also going to SUNY University at Albany. You're welcome. Fatu Tiam, going to CUNY College of Staten Island. Oh, really? Wow. Hey.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Penda Smith, going to the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Congratulations. Corey Hambrick, going to CUNY at the City College of New York. Congratulations. Kennedy Kerr, going to Brown University. Congratulations. Radina Johnson, going to Howard University. Congratulations. Ahmad Simmons, going to Columbia College of Chicago. Congratulations. Aaliyah Johnson going to Utica College. Congratulations. Kevin Brooks going to Seton Hall University. Congratulations. Oh, Kevon. Okay. And finally, William Hines going to Barry University. I'm sorry, Ramel Johnson. Sorry. Sorry about that. And you want to give out the special awards?
Yeah.
Okay.
Next up are the special awards. Students who exemplified leadership in classrooms as well as community. First up is Kennedy Kerr. Second, Kennedy Kerr. These awards are being given on behalf of the McDowell Family Foundation. All right. Second. The second awardee is Edward Serrano. And I would like to thank all of you for being here today. And special thanks to all of my scholarship sponsors, guidance counselors, college advisors, and donors, you. You continue to make this what it is today. And I enjoy doing it, and I will continue to do what I do and make this even bigger and better. So thank you, and enjoy your day. Hold on, one more for Mr. Lawrence House. He would like to say something.
I've heard some remarkable things said today, but one thing I can say to all you students going to these schools, I know you did your orientation already. My son went to Buffalo State University, and me and my wife, we went there for orientation. The first thing that they said was, if you come in to play, first trimester, you'll be coming home to pick him up. So go up there and do your thing and get out. They have mentoring programs in a lot of the schools. Use them, because this mentoring program was, the dean was involved, the president of the university was involved, and they are a tremendous help. So like Kevin said, when you feel yourself falling short, or you get a little frustrated, reach out to the deans in those schools. They will respond. The president, they will respond. Those mentoring programs, they have seniors and juniors in there that on a positive note, they will respond. And like you said, keep your door open. Always talk to everyone, because you're gonna have people that are older than you, you're gonna have people your age. So reach out and talk to them and get to know them. And you'll find that your path could be a lot easier if you let someone help you along the way. There's no shame in saying, I need a little help. There's no shame. Pride, the pride aside, and get that goal done. And one last thing I wanted to say before we didn't do it in the beginning. I gotta give thanks to the Almighty God for having us here today. We didn't just the fool. But if it wasn't for Him, none of us would be here today in our travels, our journeys. So we have to give two thanks to Father God being who God is, and believe in us, we believe in ourselves. So peace be upon everybody. Love you and have a good day and enjoy your life and go forward and stay positive.
Yep. Finished? Yeah, that's it.
All right.
All right. That's it. Thanks for coming out.